Hey guys, it's Lori. Welcome back to my channel. I'm super excited to have you with me today. I know that I gained some subscribers over the Christmas and holiday season, and so welcome to the channel. And if you are one of my faithful subscribers, welcome back. Either way, super happy to have you with me. I was able to get my hands on a couple of really popular items, and that being number one, the new Loreal Infallible 24-Hour Fresh Wear Foundation, and managed to get the Infallible Full Wear Concealer, the full coverage concealer that is said to be the true Tarte Shape Tape dupe. Alright, let's do this, you guys. I have done it slightly different this time than my past foundation, Melasma Mayhem type of foundation reviews, just because I have been so sick. I had several illnesses, and I have still some major fever blisters, and I just didn't think that you guys, want close-ups of that. I wouldn't, and so we're going to do it as best as we can on the back of the hand here, and I'll show you the foundation shade, and I will definitely have formed thoughts on it because this is like my third or fourth time wearing it. It is what I have on my face today. I'm a huge fan of the Pro Mattes in this line, and then I also just finished my total cover, and I believe that that is in my empties to show you. Tear the rest of my chin off. And I'm in shade 308 in the total cover, which is Sun Beige. In the Pro Matte, because everybody always asks me, the Pro Matte, I have shade Natural Buff, excuse my phone, Natural Buff, which is the neutral. I'm a medium skin tone, so medium neutral would be 103 if you're close to me at all. And then I also have just finished shade 104, which is what I like in the summer, which is the Golden Beige, I believe. I will correct that right here if that's not right, but that's my kind of warmer toned shade that I like. The confusing part of this was a little bit on the shades. They're kind of hard to decipher, but I believe the shade is 445. I know that it's called Vanilla. I did, really have some time to look at these shades and kind of figure out, okay, this is kind of where I think I need to be. And at least for the winter, this is a really nice shade match for me. So this is what I would say a 445. Vanilla is more of a yellow toned true medium shade. Okay, I'm not medium tan, medium, I'm just straight medium skin tone. All right, so let me it is what I have on my face. Okay, I did just finish my makeup, legitimately just finished and filmed. Like I said, I do have some serious outbreaks that I just didn't want to show you guys today, but I am going to show you the consistency. It does have a pump, love that. Glass bottle, love that. Also, before I forget, there is sunscreen in this foundation, and I believe that SPF 25, and I thought that that was very, very interesting because I don't believe the others have. Correct me if I'm wrong. They don't claim anyway. There might be a touch of, a slight bit of titanium dioxide, I'm not sure, but it's not really a sunscreen claim in the matte, at least. I don't believe it's on the total cover that way. I'm not a personal fan of glowy foundations, so the Pro Glow is not something that I have personally tried. I am interested in mixing that with my Pro Matte for just kind of a little bit of a luminosity, because the matte on the Pro Mattes is a hardcore matte. However, that could be something that I can do in the future if you guys really want to see that. But what I'm using up right now is my True Match Lumi, just to kind of mix in with my Pro Matte if I feel like I need some extra life to my skin, because it is a hardcore matte. But at any rate, this is a natural finish, and I love that. I will say I love this foundation. I hope you guys can already tell. I actually am a fan of this whole line, but I want you to know there's SPF in here because some people cannot use a foundation with SPF, and I tend to find that lots of foundations with SPF can make me greasy. I have not found that to be the case with this foundation. However, you know, I do live in a warm climate, okay? All year where I live, it's warm. However, warmer. I'll say warmer than most places in the U.S. anyway. And so it has not made me greasy, but I do have a concern for it in the summer, but I do like the SPF, okay? So I'm going to see how this folds into the spring and summer months, but it's an SPF of 25. The main sunscreen is a chemical, but I do like the, again, this is a glass bottle with a pump. Love that. This is a liquidy kind of average texture as far as we consider liquid foundations. I can feel that running, okay? That was a small amount too. Now, it is touted to be full coverage. However, I feel like right out of the foundation bottle and you put it on, you're going to get a medium coverage, buildable to full, in my opinion, all right? Now, I like a super full coverage, so full coverage can be slightly different impressions to different people, all right? But that's just a small amount on the back of my hand. Let me just rub this in on my hand so you can see. It looks much more, in my opinion, full coverage when you do a swatch on the hand than when you start applying it. But you can see that once you start rubbing it in, it spreads very far. However, it kind of shears out in that same process. So for me, straight out of the bottle, this is medium, buildable to full. And that is not a bad thing by any means, because not every day do we want a super full coverage. Some people, that's all they wear, but I mean, this is just my impression, and I have worn this for quite a few times now, so I have some definite opinions, but the finish is so beautiful. This is an absolute perfect match for me. I don't know how I managed to do that, but you can see the different, it just evens out my skin tone and covered up the veining. It's a very beautiful finish, but to me this is not quite as full as some other foundations, but if you keep adding, you can get to that level. Okay, so that's with one squirt of half, I don't know, like probably a quarter of a pump. Let's go ahead and add a little bit more. Okay, same amount. Just gonna add this, and I'm gonna kind of pat it as I add it, because I'm not doing this on my face. I just want you to see that you can actually get this to a rather opaque type of a finish. Okay, so you can see you've got two completely different looks there now with the added coverage. You can no longer see any veins, any sunspots, whereas, you know, my other hand, you can see the imperfections that are there. So it is a very nice coverage. It's a natural finish, so you don't necessarily have to set it. I personally do set, but I will set very, very lightly with this foundation. I don't find that you really need a whole lot of powder. And yeah, so the only thing about this so far that I've noticed is some of you that are super sensitive to smell, has a very distinct smell. A lot like this 25-hour lasting finish by Rimmel. The original version of this, the Comfort Serum Matte. This also has an SPF, it looks like 20 something, around the same. Yeah, and so this has more of a titanium base of the sunscreen, but they kind of have that same smell. So yeah, actually they smell a lot alike. So if you've used this Rimmel foundation and you couldn't just get on board with the smell, because it is a very distinct scent and you can smell it on the face for a little bit, it does dissipate, but these kind of smell the same. So just want to toss that out there, and let's see what else. Again, it's drying down. I've not powdered this, so you really don't have to, just because I am who I am. And here's what the pump looks like in case you want to know. Mine is on the side. Some people are getting there straight and some people are on the side, whatever. It doesn't bother me, but I know it would drive some of you crazy. Anyway, let's go ahead and put just a little bit of powder on it. What do I have? I'm just using whatever's out here. This is just some Max Factor pressed powder. I'm just going to take a complexion brush by e.l.f. And since I'm showing you this on my hand, excuse me for looking in the monitor, I want to make sure I'm in frame. Just a little bit, alright. You can see that it just kind of sets it, but you can still see the luminosity to it, and that is what I love about this. I can set it down with my powder and know that I'm going to get extra wear time, but I feel like I've still got that skin-like finish, and I think that that's why so many of you are really going to enjoy this one. Put the powder back. And let's just go ahead. I did pick up a setting spray. This is my matte setting spray by Wet n Wild, and I do really love that, but let's just spray it. I'm just going to spray my arm or my hand here. Let's just wave it and let that dry so that you can see. I normally always wear foundations on my face and demo them on my face, but I've been so sick and I really needed to get videos out and I just couldn't wait anymore. So I hope that you guys will understand. I think that you're going to be able to see just fine, and it's still very slightly wet, so what I normally do is just take a piece of a sponge and I pat it in. I do this on my face as well. I did it today, just kind of patting over that to help not get any drops but still get it set into the face. And here's what we're left with. So again, I think that you can see this really well. Here's my hand without any foundation. No foundation on this hand, covered with this one. Hopefully that gives you an idea of the shade, of the finish, and what you can expect coverage wise. Okay, so I did foundation on this hand twice, and there is still a little bit of discoloration right there popping through. I think that's important to note because the Pro Matte is such a full coverage foundation that if I had used the same amount of that on this hand, you would not be able to see any imperfections. So just keep that in mind. You're going to have to build this in areas where you have sunspots or discolorations or whatever it is that you're trying to cover, okay? And especially for those of you who watch my channel, based on the melasma spots that I have, and I do feel like they just continue to get better. However, I still have the discoloration on the high points of my cheek, and I still have some sunspots, and you can see that I was able to do that with this foundation with some added help from the concealer. Alright, so let's go ahead and call this the foundation review. It's wearing on me. I can wear this all day and all evening. I don't have to touch up. I am not oily skin. I am normal, pretty normal. If anything, slightly to the combo oily in the T-zone, and this really does not produce a lot of oil for me, which I'm thankful of. If I do start to get slightly shiny, I can just use my powder brush that I showed you and just take that powder and just go over my T-zone, and it's fine for me. Okay, so if you're normal skin, that's kind of where you're gonna fall. I've had no problems wearing it for a full day and evening, and I am not going to say that it's 25 hours. Is this one 25 or 24? Okay, 24 hours. I'm not going to test this for 24 hours. I just don't need a foundation for 24 hours. However, I am a performer, and sometimes I am up at 5 in the morning to sing at 2 or 3 Sunday morning services, and then have very little time in between, and then can just touch up and go back and seeing that evening. So this is a foundation that I have worn on a Sunday when I'm performing and really putting it to the test, and I was able to just touch up and go back to the stage that evening with no problems. Okay, so I have worn it for 12 to 14 hours on a Sunday, and then during the week for just the normal 6 to 8 hours, and both times I didn't really see a difference in the way the foundation wore. So this is, in my opinion, a very long wearing foundation that you could get, you know, say you're nursing or say you're a doctor or whatever, say you have very long shifts, you could do that with this foundation and be just fine, in my opinion. The only other thing I will note about the foundation is that powders over it beautifully. My bronzer and blush seem to apply extremely beautiful. I'll just turn to both sides for you. My bronzer and blush, and I didn't wear a highlight today because I have my original Luminoso on, which is kind of a shimmery blush, and I just feel like this is a beautiful finish. So in my opinion, this is a great foundation. I'm super happy to have this as part of my collection, and I know that a lot of you are gonna want to get your hands on this. So I'm gonna say that this does not oxidize, at least in the medium or lighter range. I can't speak to the darker shades, but this does not oxidize on me. And so yeah, I think that's pretty much it. If I missed anything, if you guys have any questions, let me know. I'd be glad to answer them. I think I covered just about everything. Packaging, great. The amount that's in them, the applicators, the coverage, the finish. Yeah, I think I got most of that. So if you do have a question that I didn't cover, please leave it down in the description box below. And I have missed you guys. I hope that you guys had a very Merry Christmas. I hope it was great for you. I'm happy to be back, and I will talk to you guys soon. Sorry that I took such a long break, and I will try not to do that again. Love you much, and thanks for watching. I'll see you in my next one. Bye.